In a small African village, there lived a poor tailor named Obioma. He owned only three things he considered valuable: a rusty sewing machine, a small wooden stool, and a heart that never learned how to say no. Every morning, before the sun climbed over the palm trees, Obioma would place his sewing machine on his shoulder and walk through the village. Ting, ting, ting. The sound of his scissors striking the metal body of the machine announced his arrival. "Obioma the tailor is here!" Children would run behind him. Women would call him from their compounds. Men would bring their torn shirts and trousers. But nobody knew that behind Obioma's gentle smile was a secret that would soon change the entire village. Because Obioma did not simply sew clothes, he could see the hidden tears in people's lives. And one day a wealthy man would discover that secret. Obioma lived alone in a tiny mud house at the edge of the village. His father had died when he was young, leaving him with nothing but an old sewing machine. His mother had also passed away several years later, so Obioma learned to survive with his needle, thread, and determination. He was not the fastest tailor, he was not the richest, but he was honest. Whenever a poor widow brought him a torn dress, he repaired it even when she could not pay immediately. Whenever a farmer brought him a ripped shirt, Obioma would smile and say, "Pay me when the harvest comes." And whenever children needed their school uniforms repaired, he sometimes did the work for free. The villagers loved him, but one man did not. His name was Chief Nwosu. Chief Nwosu was the richest man in the village. He owned farms, livestock, several houses, and a large trading store. Yet despite all his wealth, he was never satisfied. He wanted more land, more money, more respect, and most importantly, he wanted whatever someone else possessed. One afternoon, Obioma was repairing a woman's dress when a finely dressed stranger appeared at his doorway. The man carried a beautiful white garment embroidered with golden thread. "Are you Obioma?" he asked. "Yes, sir." "I have heard that you are the best tailor in this village." Obioma smiled. "I only do my best." The stranger placed the garment on the table. "I want you to repair this." Obioma carefully examined it. There was a small tear near the chest. He reached for his needle. But suddenly something strange happened. The moment his fingers touched the fabric, Obioma froze. He saw an image, a woman crying, a little boy standing beside her, a dark room, and a man walking away. Obioma immediately pulled his hand back. The stranger stared at him. What happened? Obioma looked confused. Nothing. He slowly began sewing. The moment the needle entered the cloth, the vision disappeared. When he finished, the stranger paid him generously and left. Obioma watched him disappear down the road. That night, he could not sleep. He finally understood something terrifying. Whenever he touched certain clothes, he could see the pain connected to their owner. Obioma decided to keep his strange ability secret. He knew people would fear him, or worse, they might try to use him. So he continued working quietly. Days passed, then weeks. One evening, Chief Nwosu arrived at Obioma's house. He carried an expensive royal robe. "I want you to repair this," the chief commanded. Obioma accepted it, but the moment his fingers touched the robe, he saw something. Chief Nwosu standing beside a dying old man, a document, a bag of gold, and the old man's trembling hand. Obioma immediately understood. The chief had taken something that did not belong to him. Obioma looked at the chief. "Your robe is ready tomorrow." Chief Nwosu narrowed his eyes. "You saw something, didn't you?" Obioma's heart began pounding. "I don't know what you mean." The chief stepped closer. "Don't lie to me." Obioma remained silent. Chief Nwosu smiled. It was not a friendly smile. It was the smile of a man who had just discovered a valuable secret. The following morning, Chief Nwosu returned. "I know what you can do," he said. Obioma's hands trembled. "I don't know what you're talking about." The chief placed a heavy bag of coins on the table. I can make you rich. Obioma stared at the money. All you have to do is touch people's clothes and tell me their secrets. Obioma shook his head. No. The chief laughed. You are poor. You live in a hut. You walk around carrying a sewing machine while men like me ride horses. I may be poor, Obioma replied, but I sleep peacefully. Chief Nwosu's smile disappeared. Think carefully before you refuse me. Obioma pushed the money back. I will not use my gift to hurt people. The chief picked up the bag. Then you have chosen your own fate. And he walked away. A few days later, strange rumors began spreading. People who had trusted each other for years suddenly became suspicious. Secrets appeared everywhere. A farmer accused his brother of stealing. A husband suspected his wife. Two business partners fought over money. Nobody understood what was happening. But Obioma did. Chief Nwosu had found another way to use the information. He had secretly been paying desperate people to bring him clothing belonging to villagers. Then he used the secrets he learned to manipulate them. The village slowly became divided. Friends stopped trusting friends. Families began fighting, and Obioma knew he had to act. One morning, an old widow named Mama Ada came to Obioma. She carried a faded blue dress. Please repair this for me, she said. Obioma touched the dress. A vision appeared. He saw Mama Ada's late husband hiding a small wooden box beneath the floor. Inside the box was a document. The document revealed that Chief Nwosu had stolen land belonging to Mama Ada's family years ago. Obioma opened his eyes. Mama, where did your husband keep his important documents? She looked surprised. He always told me there was nothing valuable in this house. Obioma knew the truth. He told her what he had seen. Together they searched beneath the floor, and there it was, the wooden box. Inside was the original land agreement. Mama Ada began crying. My husband knew. Obioma nodded. He wanted to protect you. But before they could celebrate, someone appeared outside. Chief Nwosu. Chief Nwosu entered the house. You have gone too far, Obioma. Mama Ada stepped behind the tailor. You stole my family's land? The chief laughed. You have no proof. Obioma pointed toward the wooden box. Perhaps we do. The chief's face changed. He suddenly realized that Obioma had uncovered the truth. You think people will believe a poor tailor? Obioma looked directly into his eyes. They may not believe me, he paused, but they will believe the document. Chief Nwosu became desperate. That evening he gathered several powerful men. He ordered them to destroy Obioma's house, but before they could reach it, the village elders arrived. Mama Ada had shown them the land document. Other villagers came forward with their own stories. People revealed how Chief Nwosu had cheated them, how he had manipulated them, how he had taken advantage of their poverty. For the first time, the villagers stood together. Chief Nwosu looked around. You cannot do this to me. An elder stepped forward. We are not doing this to you. He pointed toward the crowd. You did it to yourself. Chief Nwosu was forced to return what he had stolen. The land was restored to Mama Ada. Money was returned to families, and the villagers began rebuilding the trust that had been destroyed. But Obioma remained humble. People begged him to charge more for his services. He refused. Instead, he used his earnings to train young people in tailoring. Soon, the village had a small tailoring center. Young boys and girls learned to sew. Widows received work. Poor families found opportunities. And Obioma became known not because of his mysterious gift, but because of his character. Years later, a young apprentice asked Obioma, Master, why did you never become rich when you had such a powerful gift? Obioma smiled. My son, a gift is not measured by how much money it can make. The boy looked confused. Obioma continued. Some people use their gifts to gain power. Some use them to gain wealth. But the greatest gift is one that makes another person's life better. The young apprentice nodded. Obioma picked up his sewing machine. Ting, ting, ting. The familiar sound echoed through the village. Children smiled, women waved, and Obioma walked down the dusty road once again. He was still not the richest man in the village, but he was one of the most respected, because he had learned something many wealthy people never understand. A person's true wealth is not what they possess, it is what they give. Sometimes life gives us talents that can make us powerful, but power without wisdom can destroy us. Money without kindness can make us empty, and knowledge without character can become a weapon. Obioma had a gift that could expose people's deepest secrets, yet he chose compassion over greed, he chose truth over wealth, and he chose to use his hands not only to repair torn clothes, but to help repair broken lives. So remember, when you are given a gift, do not ask only, "What can this gift do for me?" Ask yourself, whose life can I make better with it? Because sometimes, the person who appears to have the least is actually the one who has the most to give. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to African Tales. Arising for more powerful African stories, unforgettable lessons, and tales that stay with you long after the final word. Until the next, may wisdom guide your path, kindness fill your heart,
and your gifts become a blessing to others.